Tonight, a Saskatoon mom is hit with hundreds of dollars in charges for damage to a hotel room. Damage she says she didn't cause. Also, Election Saskatchewan gears up for a fall vote with a simulation of the real thing. Plus, as the Riders unveil a new jersey, we look back at the team's fashion wins and fumbles.
This is CBC Saskatchewan News.
It is Tuesday, June the 4th, and the CBC Saskatchewan News starts right now. Good evening and thanks for joining us. A Regina hotel is being accused of adding bogus charges to several people's credit cards after checkout. One of them is a Saskatoon mother who says she had sleepless nights after an unauthorized transaction to cover room damage. Dane Patterson reports.
This is what led to a family getting charged $800 after a stay at a Regina hotel. And the mother says it's a bogus charge, that her family didn't cause the damage in the photo. Carly Fulton's family stayed at the Residence Inn while her son played in a hockey tournament. Then, 3 days later, Fulton received an email from the hotel manager. It said she'd been charged $800 for a broken lock on the door of her hotel room.
Upon checkout of your room or inspection of your room, we noticed there was damage to the lock, and therefore we've issued an $800 charge to your credit card. And that was it.
Fulton asked for more details, proof that it was them who caused the damage to the lock, and proof that it was even their hotel room door.
I was given like a vague picture that clearly showed damage to a lock, but it didn't show the room number or anything like that. It looked like a crowbar had been pried on the lock. So, I mean, it's not like I carry a crowbar in my purse or anything like that. And yeah, it was just a lot of back and forth, a lot of sleepless nights.
Fulton continued to push back. She says Marriott International offered her points or a gift card. Eventually, the credit card company settled the claim and gave her the money back. But Fulton isn't the only guest to complain. One woman posted to social media about her experience alleging a bogus charge in the same hotel. And I spoke with another man who was expected to pay $800 for a broken TV he says he didn't break.
The reality of the matter is a lot of people don't object or dispute it, or how we'd like to call it. A lot of people just say, I don't have the time or the energy for this fight. Some people would just leave it.
One credit card expert says hotels need permission before they can add a new transaction. CBC contacted the hotel and Marriott International, but did not receive a response. Dane Patterson, CBC News, Saskatoon.
There are new allegations of assault against a staff member at Legacy Christian Academy. Saskatoon police confirmed they did receive the new complaint on Saturday. The Education Ministry is also aware of new allegations involving the controversial private school. A ministry spokesperson says it's investigating the complaint and is engaging with the family to understand the nature of the allegation. Legacy Christian Academy, formerly Christian Center Academy, is embroiled in a $25 million civil suit and criminal court proceedings. Former students launched a class action lawsuit against the school and the connected Mile 2 Church after a CBC News investigation revealed 18 former students from the same academy had filed criminal complaints against school staff members. Election Saskatchewan is gearing up for this fall's provincial election, and today it ran a mock vote to practice for the real thing, currently scheduled for October 28th. The voting simulation took place at the Connexus Arts Centre. Cameras were allowed inside, something that's not permitted on Election Day. Election Saskatchewan's Chief Electoral Officer, Michael Boda, also spoke to the media. He wants to promote mail-in voting, which is expected to be more popular this fall. Starting tomorrow, voters can apply for voting by mail. And once they're approved, kits will be sent out after the election is called.
This is one activity crossed off the list for busy parents, a university student who's leaving the province for their fall semester studies. But this can also be really important for someone living in a rural or remote area of the province where it's not easy to get to in-person voting.
Boda says mail-in voting went smoothly in 2020. That was the first year it was widely used. He says a voting week and advance polls will allow even more people opportunities to cast their ballot. Saskatoon may expand free bus fare to elementary school children starting this fall. The new policy was heard at City Council's Transportation Committee today. It means that kids in grade 8 and under won't have to pay and won't have to be accompanied by an adult. It's based on the honor system. Instead of showing a bus pass or ID, kids will self-verify their age if asked. The new policy is trying to increase transit use and provide some cost of living relief. A report from city staff says it should be revenue neutral based on other cities. Transit advocates say they welcome the change.
If you're riding the bus when you're 8 and 10 and 12 and 14, you're more likely to be riding the bus when you're 24, 34, and 44. And so it's sort of investment in future ridership. And of course, the higher your ridership level is, the more effective and extensive transit service you can offer.
Regina City Council made a similar move 2 years ago. It reported an increase in ridership and extra revenue from adults riding with their kids. The policy still has to go to a vote at future City Council meeting. Canada's Auditor General released a new report today slamming the federal government for disregarding its own procurement rules. It found Ottawa awarded more than $200 million worth of contracts to a single firm without much, if any, competition. Olivia Stefanovich reports.
At least one contract.
Canada's Auditor General sounding the alarm over $200 million worth of federal contracts given to a single consulting firm, McKinsey & Company.
Federal contracting and procurement policies exist to ensure fairness and transparency and value for Canadians. But they only work if they are followed.
Karen Hogan found those rules routinely broken in 97 contracts awarded to the New York-based global management firm.
We also found that each organization's own practices often did not demonstrate value for money.
The contracts were handed out between 2011 and 2023 for a wide range of issues, including IT support, scientific research, even health and welfare services. Hogan's audit shows most of the contracts were not awarded through a competitive process, and 6 appear to have been designed to favor McKinsey specifically.
Will the Prime Minister commit here and now no more money for McKinsey?
The opposition is seizing on the Auditor General's scathing findings.
Why do these Liberals show such affection for McKinsey but such disdain for Canadian taxpayers?
When will they start respecting our public service and stop forking over money to rich consultants?
Will the Prime Minister finally ban McKinsey from government contracting?
This isn't the first time the government has come under fire for outsourcing.
Speed to procure.
Hogan recently scolded the government for the controversial ArriveCan app, concluding that its final cost impossible to determine due to poor financial record keeping.
We're committed to protecting the integrity of procurement and expect public servants and all departments to operate at the highest standard and prioritize value for money for Canadians.
So why didn't that happen with McKinsey? Well, the Auditor General says procurement policies may be too onerous as they are. So there's no need for more rules. She says the public service just needs to follow them. Olivia Stefanovich, CBC News, Ottawa.
The Saskatchewan Roughriders are shoring up their defense with the signing of veteran defensive back Marcus Sayles. The CFL veteran joins the Riders after spending the last 3 seasons with the BC Lions. The 2022 West Division All-Star also helped Winnipeg win the Grey Cup in 2019. Sayles was released after BC's final preseason game. He says he talked to 3 teams before deciding to sign with the Riders, wanting to be somewhere he could win.
Just the discussions with me and my fiance, we wanted to see, location. We wanted to win. I wanted to be able to, play my position. I want to be able to, just contribute. And, I know that they do have a lot of good players here. And, hopefully I can just be a part of that wherever they put me at.
That veteran presence will definitely help. He's a quick twitch guy. He's had success with the ball in the air. I know last year, probably wasn't the numbers that he was looking for. But certainly I think in this defense, he'll be able to get back to his ball hawking days. But, the main thing is you can never have too many good players or too many veteran leadership within the group, and he certainly brings both.
Sayles comes with NFL experience too, with the Buffalo Bills and LA Rams. During most of the 2020 season, he was on the practice roster for the Minnesota Vikings. The Riders are back to practice tomorrow and Thursday before traveling to Edmonton on Friday for Saturday's game. They say the necessity is the mother of invention. Her daughter's smoke allergy is what prompted Melanie Benson to start making smudge spray. The business owner and member of Atakakoop Cree Nation says making them is also helping her anxiety and depression.
My biggest seller we have here is the smudge spray.
I love my smudge spray. My smudge spray is my thing. I like I said, I use it daily. I wear it as a perfume. I spray it around my whole house. I use it to release any negative on myself or in any space that I'm in. Hi, my name is Melanie Benson. I am the owner of Star Blanket, Smudge, and Spirit Creations. I've always loved smudging. It just always gave me such a good feeling. And so I would smudge my house, but my oldest daughter, it would really bother her nose.
But I always loved the smell, so it was kind of like a, you know, it kind of stings, but it's okay because it smells good. But eventually we were able to come up with the smudge spray. And it was great. It's being able to use my medicines frequently. I also smudge my house every day with her sprays. So being able to stay connected to our medicine and also using something that my mom makes is super important to me because I know that she has the good intentions behind it.
The essential oils that I use are the same items that you would use, like the sage or the Palo Santo or anything like that. So I do it like as if you would when you are smudging, as well as like with the spray, I'll like make sure and spray it and pull it to the centers that are necessary as well. I have bad anxiety and depression, so that type of stuff just really helps mellow me out. And while I'm also doing that, I just think of pure intentions, good intentions, and releasing any of the negatives.
Being able to use our medicines in this kind of non-traditional way, but still amazing, has been so nice.
Creating things that I feel help me and could possibly help somebody else really makes me feel good in the end as well.
It was a nerve-wracking afternoon southeast of Edmonton in the small community of Edberg after what was likely a tornado touched down. It's unclear whether there was any damage. Environment Canada says it is investigating. Ethan will have your local weather forecast after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. New CFL season, new Rough Rider coach, new jerseys. Last week, the team unveiled a new alternate, and it has fans talking. Peter Mills takes a look back at the team's fashion wins and fumbles.
Obsidian green is the color. The Saskatchewan Roughriders have new uniforms and a new logo. Well, this is what you're used to, the green and white, classic, sharp, simple, beloved. On Labor Day, the Riders bust out the retros, always a fan favorite. So 2 classic looks, but the Riders have changed a lot more than you think. Remember the 90s or these stormtroopers? Or do you remember when the Riders wore red jerseys? And who can forget this abomination? And then there are these beauties. A lot of fans have been wanting to go back to black, and for about 5 years, the Riders have been tinkering in the lab, and now, boom. They call it obsidian green, the darkest shade of green before it turns black. They also have a new logo, the 13 kernels of wheat to represent Rider Nation. Now, not everyone will love them, but the Riders say merch is flying off the shelves. Even Winnipeg Blue Bomber fans are sharing their respects. Rider fans will see the players take to the field in these new uniforms twice this year, July 19th and October 26th.
This weather update is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz Regina, proud member of the Capital Automotive Group.
I happen to really like the new jerseys, and I like the watermelon one too.
Yeah, I have to agree. And you know, the black, that was what I remember them wearing, you know, growing up, going to the games. So, you know, it's kind of a nice throwback, sort of, that way, I guess, in a way.
Even
call it that. You know, we're going back a period of time.
2000s?
Yeah, sure, but 90s, 2000s, yeah, all the same, right?
Let's go to the weather,
Anyway,
please.
yeah. Before we make anyone else feel really old or young, depending on who you are, we'll talk about some rain in the province. We've seen a lot of that. Green really is the color on this map, as you can see here, as that falls through the province and has been falling over the last few hours here. We had some heavier showers moving through Regina and Saskatoon today. Those are starting to dissipate here as this line starts to move out. We also had some severe thunderstorms with that a little bit earlier, and we're still seeing some lightning strikes here and there. But the system, not only has it brought the rain, it's been very windy at times too, gusting 60 to 70, sometimes close to 80 in some areas, especially in southern Saskatchewan. And you can see now, though, that that rain is beginning to move away and the sun is starting to come out in southern parts of the province, especially in the southwest, because temperatures are starting to get close to 20 degrees, while in the north, you're still into the single digits. There's even a little bit of a spread in south and central, 20 at Maple Creek and 13 in Hudson Bay, and even kind of cooler as you go northward. You can see that line of showers on the map. We also have a funnel cloud advisory still in place as a result of that low pressure system. We have been seeing a few photos on socials today of those popping up. Nothing like we saw yesterday in Alberta that you saw a little bit earlier in our cast. And this severe thunderstorm warning to the south of Prince Albert has now come to an end. So this low continues to move off to the north and east overnight, but it'll still spill showers through the north tomorrow. And yes, temperatures could get cold enough that we could actually see some more substantial snowfall in portions of far northern Saskatchewan. For the south and central regions, though, as we get through tomorrow and Thursday, will begin to clear away. Maybe a little bit of some cloud returning for Friday as things still stay messy in the north. So overall, I think these numbers trend a little bit high at times, but maybe another 5 to 10 millimeters through the northern grain belt, 10 to 20 in the north. I certainly don't think we're looking for 30 to 60 in far northern sections, but maybe locally 20 to 30 millimeters at times. And it's still going to be very windy tomorrow. That extends eastward. We see gusts 70 to 80 in Regina and southern regions. Even still into Thursday, this low pressure system is really going to take its time moving out. So Regina in the southeast, we still could be in that 60 to 70 range for Thursday. So after a couple of gusty days, our temperatures do improve and the sun comes out as we see a pretty nice weekend actually, and start to next week with temperatures during the day getting near or above normal and those overnight lows getting into the double digits. For Saskatoon, I still think we maybe have a chance of showers tomorrow as winds remain quite strong, but then things pretty quickly clearing out for Thursday, Friday, and you'll benefit from that nice warm weather as well. So green, Sam, definitely will be the color as the grass benefits from this rain and the sunshine.
But my poor tomato plants are going to take a beating with that wind tomorrow.
Yeah, tie them down.
Oh boy. Thanks, Ethan.
You're welcome.
Justice system to engage in a politically driven prosecution.
Oh, this is my favorite story of the day. It was Bring Your Kid to Work Day that one U.S. congressman will never forget, and neither will anyone else on Capitol Hill. See, Republican John Rose was first to speak on the House floor yesterday, but his 6-year-old son stole the show. Rose is speaking about Trump's criminal conviction while the little guy behind him squirming in his seat, making funny faces and gestures. Afterward, Rose went online to say this is what he gets for telling his son to smile at the camera for his little brother. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back. Canadian MPs are facing new questions about foreign interference into politics here after a new report suggests some MPs have conspired with foreign governments and shared sensitive information with them. No one is named in this report, which is raising concerns about trust on Parliament Hill. Rafi Boudjikanian reports.
Justin Trudeau's cabinet has been preoccupied with foreign meddling for months, but typically they've not had to address their own caucus colleagues' potential involvement.
The allegations contained in the report are extremely serious. Anytime you have a suggestion that our democracy is being undermined, it has to be taken very seriously.
That's a concern for all of us, regardless of caucus, regardless of party.
That, as a new report by a committee of politicians with security clearance tasked with intelligence oversight says parliamentarians semi-wittingly or wittingly helped foreign states interfere into politics here, some accepting funds or benefits from foreign missions and their proxies, and providing privileged information to foreign diplomats, and in one case to a known foreign intelligence officer. The report also said China and India have interfered in conservative leadership races, providing no specifics.
We know that China and India are interfering in our democracy and are using members of parliament to do so. A Canadian is dead because India allegedly sent assassins to murder him in Surrey, BC. Yet, the Conservative leader refuses to condemn India's Modi, and the Prime Minister has failed to protect our democracy. How will this Prime Minister take this matter seriously and hold these foreign governments to account?
The very creation of the National Security and Intelligence Committee of Parliamentarians has allowed us to see a lot more and to make sure that all parliamentarians are aware of what the intelligence community is doing to keep Canadians safe. We will continue to do everything necessary to protect Canadians.
One opposition leader has an idea, saying every caucus should ask each of their MPs whether they may have been involved, even inadvertently, in foreign meddling.
I can only say that if we came to the conclusion that one member of my caucus would have been involved in such activities, he could not remain part of the caucus. That's clear.
The governing Liberals would not make that commitment on Tuesday, though Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland did say her party would be conducting an internal follow-up of some sort. For their part, the Conservatives say they never got any warning from Canada's spy agency CSIS about foreign interference into their last leadership contest. Rafi Bujikani on CBC News, Ottawa.
A First Nation in Northern Ontario is suing the federal and provincial governments over mercury contamination in a river flowing through its territory. Grassy Narrows First Nation says the governments did not meet their obligations to ensure community members could practice their right to fish safely.
The people of Grassy Narrows have suffered enough. The future children, the grandchildren that are coming behind us when I'm long gone, we want a good future for them.
The lawsuit claims the governments allowed the river to be contaminated, then failed to address the problem while authorizing harmful industrial activities. Community leaders say the matter would have been handled differently if another segment of the population had been affected. The lawsuit is seeking several measures, including an order that the governments protect the river and Grassy Narrows territory. The lawsuit also calls for the prohibition of industrial land use on or near the territory that would infringe on treaty rights. Wednesday brought to you by the letter W for wind.
Yeah, wind for sure. Wet? No, at least in Regina, where we're going to see skies clear tonight. Temperatures will be around 11 degrees, but yeah, still going to be a little bit breezy at times overnight. And then finally tomorrow, I think we actually should have a pretty bright morning with the sunshine, but don't let that deceive you, because still wind's going to be near 60 kilometers an hour. That's continuing into the afternoon. A little bit of cloud cover building in, but I think for the most part, we should see some sunshine in Regina. For Saskatoon, we're still looking at partly cloudy conditions tonight, but again, I think the rain should be coming to an end overnight. Before tomorrow, we see a little bit of some showers moving in for the morning hours, then cloudy skies for the noon hour with a chance of showers into the afternoon before, yes, folks in Saskatoon will finally get some of that sun, but still windy, Sam.
All right. Thanks, Ethan.
You're welcome.
And that is it for us tonight. For news anytime, you can head to cbc.ca/sask. You can subscribe to the CBC Saskatchewan YouTube channel or download the CBC News app on your phone or tablet. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great night.